It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. You know what that means. Welcome to Lost in the Midcard. Here we are, our final episode before Christmas. Holy cow, it's already Christmas, December 19th. Where did the time go? Thank you for joining us. As always, we are your official lead-in to Monday Night Raw, which will be kicking off at the top of the hour. So we'd like to thank you for joining us live. And if you're catching us on demand, do make sure you subscribe to us on the YouTube for the Bleav in Pro Wrestling channel. Hit that thumbs up on the videos. Give us a follow. Help us out. Share it all out. Help us all out. And try to get this out to as many people as we can. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. And as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how's it going?
Oh, it's just another Monday, my friend. How about yourself?
Just another manic Monday. It is good. I only have 2 more days of work left. I also got 2 nights of trivia to host, so it ain't gonna all end until Wednesday. And then I'll go do some karaoke, maybe. I mean, Jesus, it's getting down to wind chills in the negative 30s. This week, so that's going to be a lot of fun to look forward to. But welcome Stephen Chambers, as always, joining us, and Mark Cho dying in bed, but he's here. So Mark Cho on his dying bed, but he still joins Lost in the Midcard. That's some dedication, man.
It's some dedication. Feel better soon, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously,
man.
Just
bad time to be like
never.
It's maybe it's a time to be sick. It's never a good time, but maybe this is a good time. That way, maybe you get it out of the way before Christmas and before New Year's. Who knows? But,
fair.
Yeah, with as cold as it's gonna get, it's like, God, I don't want to leave the house. I did not leave the house today, and I still won't leave the house today. So of course, when we get done here, it'll be Raw time. So I have successfully proceeded to not leave the house. It snowed. It's still like 35. I think it's dropping rapidly though, and then it's gonna get like just butt ass cold. And I'd rather it be 100 than negative 10. But we're a ways away from 100 over here.
A little bit.
Well, Tuesday, the day after we air, a lot of shit dropped on Tuesday. Namely, this lady right here in this lovely catsuit that she's wearing. Our lead for today, of course, is the Mandy Rose release from WWE that it became official on Wednesday after Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select, reported that a abrupt title change was going to happen on NXT on Tuesday evening this week. Of course, we will get into NXT a little later on the show. Quite a bit of fallout ever since this Mandy Rose news has dropped. Some fallout and follow-up from Fightful Select in regards to this. They said that things seem to be very hasty as it related to Mandy Rose losing the NXT title this past Tuesday. Fightful got word about 15 minutes before NXT went on the air that a major title switch was going to happen, with Mandy dropping the championship. Those close to Mandy Rose claim she's in good spirits, was in good spirits at the NXT show on Tuesday night. Of course, that was live, where they are now going to tape some episodes. I don't know if tomorrow's live or not. Matt, do you know?
No, next 2 weeks have been taped. They taped them all last week.
JC Jane and Gigi Dolan have had a lot of looks on the main roster. No immediate plans to move them up to the main roster as of yet. Of course, they're still kind of in this 3-way tag team title feud anyway. So once that's all said and done, maybe then you can think about calling them back up. A lot of controversy surrounding this. Obviously, Mandy Rose has a things similar to OnlyFans. I can't remember which one she has. There's many of them out there now.
Fan time.
CJ Perry, aka Lana, she has one as well in a different site. And apparently they gave Mandy the ultimatum to stop doing this. She refused, obviously making a lot of money out of all this. But it also, a lot of people brought up, oh, well, they told Athena to dress all sexy, and now they're firing Mandy Rose for this. And, there's things we see on Instagram from other wrestlers that are pretty racy. To me, I feel like it's a double standard. I don't think she should have been released because of this, because there are a lot of double standards here in play. Some of those double standards, of course, were from Vince McMahon's regime, not Triple H's regime. But at the same time, precedents have been set. Things have happened in that company also. And I just feel like it was the wrong move. My gut feeling is some major sponsor probably got word of it once things got leaked out. And
the rumblings was Mattel.
Oh,
but I mean, until that's actually 100% confirmed, who knows?
Yeah, Mattel ain't going to come out with an OnlyFans line, are they?
Not the creators of Barbie.
Now, Mr. Steven, don't call me Elimination Chambers. I really love this idea. Mandy Rose getting replaced by Chelsea Green and Toxic Attraction continuing. I think that is not a bad thing in my opinion.
I've seen the rumor, but it was contributed to Fightful, and Sean has already shot it down and said he never reported it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think it's more fan speculation than anything.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to bring in Green for a role on the main roster, for leading Toxic Attraction, probably not the worst idea.
No.
But also, I feel like they could put Sonya Deville in that spot because she already did some work with them down in NXT earlier this year.
I think
I actually think Sonya would fit with the group more, because just in case they decide that they want to bring Mandy back down the line,
drop a phone.
Sonya being involved in the group could be an easy, plug and play back in type of deal.
I think it wouldn't be bad, but I think the overall vibe and fit of Toxic Attraction, I think Chelsea Green would fit a little better into that with Gigi and JC. I like the idea. I never even thought about it. Of course, Chelsea is more than likely on her way to WWE. I'd love to see her husband.
It seems like it's a matter of when and not if.
And hopefully Matt Cardona join. I mean, if Matt Cardona is in the Royal Rumble, as Matt Cardona, man, I mean, this Royal Rumble is going to be one of the most anticipated Royal Rumbles in history because Triple H is in charge, and you got to wonder what he has up his sleeve. And we're going off track there, but back to Mandy Rose. I mean, I think you're about on the same page as I am with this whole thing, right?
Yeah. Look, if you wanted to set an example, just suspend her for 30 days, or just have her drop the title, suspend her for 30 days, and bring her back when all this stuff blows over. Because I like Bell said, like the whole when Daniel Bryan got fired for choking Justin Roberts with his tie. From my understanding back then, that was also an issue with Mattel. So they ended up bringing him back a few months later at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, maybe Mattel was, got all pissy last week, but in a few months from now, when everything blows over, maybe they bring her back. But at the same token, if those 90 days are up, and, Tony Khan calls and say, hey, you can come over here and you can continue to do your fan time thing. I don't freaking care. We got, Tony Storm that does OnlyFans. We let her do it. We don't care.
Yep.
And she jumps over there, and the potential of within in a 6 to 8 month span, you're adding Saraya, Mandy Rose, Sasha Banks, and Naomi possibly to that roster. Oh boy. That is a gigantic shift in the AEW women's division going into 2023.
For everybody joining us live, thank you for joining us live. As some of you we see every week, and we really appreciate you. If you have not joined us live or are currently joining us live, please get in the chat, ask us anything, comment on anything. we'll bring it up here in the chat. But Steven brings up a good one here. Mandy covering her assets with titles in Instagram not too long ago. That was a photo that was on her Instagram.
WWE used that all over.
Was like their, they always do their top 10 Instagram photos of the week on Raw. And
it was very reminiscent of the HBK Playgirl
yeah.
cover photo when he took the picture with the WWF Championship over his junk.
Now, I know a lot of people are saying, they pushed Playboy at different times. Look what Vince did with Trish and things like that. Those are, completely different times. We're talking about double standards.
During those times, they weren't with Mattel.
Yeah,
they were with Jack Specific.
They were with
Jack Specific. And Jack Specific's pretty much pretty much Jazzwares now.
They were with Castrol GTX. That's who they were with, right? That
yeah, but I'm saying like when all that stuff was going down, the stuff with Playboy and all that stuff during that era, like Mattel was not partnered with them for their action figures.
Yeah,
and it really seems like that partnership with Mattel has changed. The way they handle things when that specific sponsor or partner, you should say, because they make their products, gets upset about something.
Our buddy Greg Bush joining the show tonight. Thanks for jumping in here, Greg.
Greg, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, boys? Yeah, Mandy will be back. It'll be a waste to lose her after such a long run. Unfortunately, it starts Roxanne's run off on a bad foot. I don't know necessarily about
it does because nobody's talking about her title run now. No one's talking about everybody's just talking about Mandy.
Yeah.
So this actually does start Roxanne's title reign off in a very negative fashion, and that sucks for her because she didn't do anything wrong. It's not her fault.
And this is on HBK to now follow it up and make it a big deal. However long she's going to hold the title, obviously they got 2 weeks in the can now. They got to make it a big deal of her being champion now. Of course, she's 21. She's going to be champion many times over going forward. So, yeah, exactly. There's that. That was my other.
That's very true.
That was my other point of contention with current double standards in the WWE is the stuff that her, which I'm a fan of. Let's just not beat around the bush here, pun intended. But I'm not. But yeah, this is one of the main points of contention I brought up on Twitter when this news broke as a hypocritical stand. Now, is WWE going to bring her back like Justin Roberts? No, I don't think so. AEW's going to snatch her up. So I don't think WWE's bringing her back.
They have honestly, to me, they have 90 days to figure it out.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say that might give me cause to pause with the Mandy Rose to AEW discussion is for the way her husband was treated there.
Yeah.
Or fiance or whatever it is. I don't know if they're officially married or not. Yeah, he didn't have a great run over there, and he was kind of pigeonholed and blamed for all the leaks that were coming out from the company at the time during the COVID era. And I really don't think he was. I don't think it was him, but he got blamed for it. So that might be something that prevents her from wanting to go over there. But one phone call from Saraya could change everything because how close those two are.
Much like Johnny Ace got the blame for some things on our next topic coming up pretty soon. Bell in the chat, could they have Toxic Attraction do a thing with Roxanne until they get called up? Well, right now they're in a triple threat thing. It was a number one contenders match that ended up in a chaos a DQ. Yeah, DQ no contest, however you officially put it, which is going to lead to a triple threat tag team title match with Casey and Katana against, that's the same person. Hello. Caden and Katana against these damn name changes against Toxic Attraction and Tatum Paxley and Ivy Nile. There's going to probably be I did not look at spoilers, but I'm going to assume there's a triple threat match somewhere in the next 2 weeks. Steven in the chat.
I think it's tomorrow.
Is it? Steven in the chat. Yeah, she's probably increased her subscriber base, and I've also heard she's increased her price. So, I don't think she's going to be hurting.
I heard from somebody who crunched the numbers based on what she's charging and the amount of subscribers she has, and
Mhm.
she's making minimum 250 grand a month.
A month? Yeah.
A
Was that
month off this
before?
freaking fan
Was
time.
that before or after the price change?
I don't know because I don't know what the price was before and I don't know what the price is now. I'm not, I haven't I haven't done my research in that thing.
No.
But the fact that somebody, like, I wish I could remember who said it, but somebody said when they crunched the numbers that within 1 month, based on subscriber count and the price she's charging, she's
Yeah.
making a $250,000 a month. Like, can you really blame her?
No.
Like, there ain't no way WWE is coming close to that amount of money for her. Like,
No. I
not
mean,
even close.
I think only 2 people in the company make 5 million more a year or more a year, and that's Roman Reigns and John Cena.
Well, I
And
don't know if Cena's still making that since he's
he might
hardly
not
ever
be.
there.
Yeah.
Reigns probably is making some astronomical figure.
MK in the chat, Mandy in a faction with Tay Mello and Anna JAS would be
I
kind of fun.
actually love that, to be honest. I think that is a tremendous idea. I think the three of them would play off of each other perfectly.
Would you branch them off of the JAS or?
Yes, by that point, if she came in and they paired the three of them up, I would not have them. I would not have them as part of the JS. I look. I don't even know if the JS is still around in 90 days. I think that group is
Oh, of course,
not
Mark
long
Cho
for this
knows.
world.
Of course, Mark Cho knows. Was
Wait a
15 now.
minute.
Mark Cho. Yeah.
I don't blame her for doubling it. Oh, she got a shit ton of free publicity last week. Good for her.
And now we go to this asshole. Uh Rumors circulating that Vince McMahon thought he got bad advice and now wants to return to the WWE. This coming on the heels of yet another report that there were more misconducts. Now, I'm not buying it for a minute that they're going to let Vince back in the door because the board of directors voted him out. So this is just all just Vince getting his name back in the press. To me, there's nothing to this at all. Correct?
Well, from my understanding, somebody on the board heard that he wanted to come back and leaked more shit to the Wall Street Journal to get this stuff out there to basically say, no, son, you ain't coming back. Well, that's
Mandy and Jay, there's a good one. You still got to wonder who's going to be the one to top Jade. I mean, I think we've discussed this on the show before, and names like Chris Statlander come to mind. And
but you also got to keep if Mercedes and Naomi are coming in,
yeah,
I mean, you can't. Man, I would love to see either of them take down Jade. And I don't think Mandy's somebody that you immediately need to push to a championship. I think her in like a 3-woman group look, I've already hearing that there's rumors AEW is going to introduce women's tag team titles in 2023 at some point. So, I mean,
yeah, they've done a lot to form teams.
The sky's the limit for that women's division in 2023 if they get everybody that we're talking about right now. That division's going. They could go from like a year and a half ago, everybody dogging the AEW women's division, to like 6 months from now, they could be like the top women's division in all of professional wrestling. It could be that crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I am exempting Japan. I'm not talking Stardom. I'm talking United States before anybody's mentioned Stardom or anything. I'm talking United States women's wrestling.
Choco
6 months
Pro.
from now, it could be crazy.
Choco Pro.
Dude, that documentary sucked.
I have not watched it yet, but
it was 95% recycled Dark Side of the Ring shit. It was a complete and utter waste of my 2 hours of time.
It did not register on the scale either. It barely cracked. It didn't even crack 100,000 viewers. Bell in the chat. Voldemort is coming back. It's no coincidence that there are other reports. Yeah, like Matt said. Yeah, right when that came out, somebody on the board went, "Hey, look at this." And don't mind the name Elimination Chambers. That was a nickname given to Steven by my old Sports Key to Top Story co-host Kevin Kellum. He gave Steven that nickname there as being a regular on long-time regular to our Top Story show as well. Yeah, Vince. I mean, yeah, thanks for trying, but
back. There's way too much that would have to go down for him to come back. And if he did muscle his way back into the company, he's going to destroy the company's stock. He's doing it on the year where both Raw and SmackDown's television deals are up and they're negotiating for new television contracts. Like, he could literally come back and destroy his own company.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
That much of a selfish prick.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
I want to believe that there's enough against him at this point that they can, just keep him out and force him out. So
him and Trump alike. Oh, sorry. Moving on. Hey, this guy right here. He is not on your television screens for the next couple of weeks, unfortunately, as we've learned.
SmackDown anyway.
Well, SmackDown, yeah, because SmackDown taped 2 shows in Chicago Friday night. You got to see our old friend Kev Kellum behind Michael Cole too, as he was front row there. Kevin Owens was supposed to be on the double SmackDown tapings, but couldn't make it to what WWE has called a nightmare travel situation. And as a result, Owens had to be written out of both shows. Major production and writing changes were made. Originally, Owens was supposed to be face-to-face with the Bloodline as they introduced the John Cena video, as we will talk about when we cover SmackDown later on. Of course, the big return for John Cena December 30th is going to be a tag match with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens and John Cena. Beginning of the end for Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, Matt?
Yeah, I think Zayn's taking the pinfall in this match, and it's gonna leave Roman feeling a certain type of way, and this is gonna lead to Zayn getting kicked out of the group.
I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah, dude, he's probably sitting at home doing that promo.
Yeah,
he's sitting at home and he's watching Triple H bring all these people back that he fired, and he's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, like what did Vince kill that Triple H is reincarnated? Like sanity soon to be.
Yeah, he was on his way back. They've already turned Nikki back crazy, and it's not like Killian Dane and what's
Imperium?
the other guy? Alexander Wolf is doing anything.
Imperium's the other thing.
They could literally bring back the whole group.
Yeah, Imperium's the other thing that he killed, and Triple H is put back together. There's probably other things I can't think of right off the top of my head.
Well, he killed things by firing people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just killing gimmicks at that point. And Triple H has brought back so many people that Vince has let go. Like, I'm sure he's having, an old man hissy fit, every time one of these talents are brought back.
Bell in the chat, can Stephanie buy him out if she has to?
I mean, that would be a very hefty buyout. Like, we're talking insane, probably 8 figures or more to get a buyout, and it would not be fun for Stephanie to be able to do that.
No, Vince for the Impact Hall of Fame. Maybe.
Yeah. How about no?
MK, maybe Vince doesn't come back, but any chance he forces a sale in 2023?
I surely hope not.
Yeah,
I'm sure he could try.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to let me back in, I'm going to try to sell, all my. See, speaking of the buyout that Bell mentioned, if he sold all of his shit to like somebody else, and then they tried to come in and force their way into the company, like, you can't roll something like that out.
Yeah, but the board still has to vote him in, right?
You would think so, but I mean, like, he holds a big controlling percentage.
Well,
and that's part of the problem.
Let's go from one old man to another old man. There was a rumor that Goldberg had a brand new WWE contract, as his contract ends at the end of the year, but he has no matches remaining with said contract. And yesterday on Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp killing that rumor, stating that Goldberg has yet to sign a new contract. Rumors were circulating that he signed a 2-year deal with 5 matches guaranteed, with the majority of matches being either Saudi shows or WrestleMania. However, those that actually handle those deals for Goldberg say, not so fast, my friend. And so that'll be news to the people that actually do the work. So there is, if you heard anything about Goldberg resigning, now that doesn't say he's not going to. It's just a fact that it hasn't happened yet. And you really, you really don't have to do much of anything until after January 1st, right, Matt?
You want to hear me? You want to hear my crazy prediction?
Oh, Lord. What do you got?
We will see Goldberg spear somebody in the year 2023.
Where?
But it won't be on the USA Network. It'll be on TBS.
Oh, God.
I don't think though. I like they're not gonna bring him in to do a full-time deal.
Yeah.
But I think they'll bring him in to do something, and even if it's just like a one-off type of deal, I do not roll out seeing Goldberg in AEW at some point in 2023 if WWE does not lock him down to a new deal, because he's made it very clear in recent weeks that he did not want to go out on his last match as that match against Roman. Yeah. And no wrestling company on the planet right now treats the legends of this sport better than Tony Khan treats the legends in AEW.
Yeah, and
so I could see him coming in doing a short thing, winning a pay-per-view match, and that would be it. I don't see him doing a full-time thing, but I'm not rolling out a Goldberg AEW run if they don't sign him to a new deal.
And I don't see Goldberg as a priority for Triple H, to be honest with you.
I don't either, because I think Triple H is looking to the future more than
now
he's
you
looking to
got
the
Goldberg
past.
versus Gunther. No, I think it's going to be Gunther.
The rumor is Gunther and Brock.
Yeah, I think Gunther and Brock is going to be your WrestleMania match.
And I don't think Goldberg wants to come back to lose.
No, but he wants
to.
He did say that there was word from his camp that he wants to wrestle people he's not wrestled before. So maybe he will lose. Because he does want to wrestle some people he hasn't. So, who knows?
I still think whatever his last match is, he wants to go out on top. I think he wants to win his last match. Which is
not what you do in pro wrestling. You always go out looking at the lights. MK in the chat.
Some people haven't.
Do you see WrestleMania having Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Stone Cold? Bad Bunny, I don't know. He's in a major tour. That is way up in the air. Logan Paul.
I can see all four legitimately being there.
If Logan Paul's healthy. Of course, some people think that injury was a work.
Well, apparently apparently he didn't tear his ACL. He just tore his MCL.
Yeah,
which apparently is a much quicker recovery time.
Yeah, that's about 2 months.
So
that's about 2 months.
I can see. Look,
John Cena, Austin Theory. I mean, that's always on the board. And Stone
I could
Cold
see all four of those people there. I could see The Rock there too.
Stone Cold.
Honestly, it could be a ridiculously star-studded WrestleMania that in Los Angeles.
We reported on it a couple of weeks ago. Stone Cold wants to wrestle somebody again at WrestleMania after how well the match went with Kevin Owens. I honestly, if I was to say, God, someone that could get a good match out of Austin and where Austin doesn't have to carry the work, it's the top two guys that come to mind are the guys that might be in the rumored Hell in a Cell match at Royal Rumble, and that's either AJ Styles or Finn Balor. I would love to see either one of those guys take on.
There's
Austin.
A Hell in a Cell match at the Royal Rumble?
That's the rumor. There's a rumor.
Who's reporting this?
I forget who. I saw it. There's a rumor that my buddy John talked about it. He heard it from somewhere. I can't remember. I'd have to ask him where he heard it from. But that's the rumor, is there might be a Hell in a Cell match at Royal Rumble this year.
That's really freaking weird.
I would say of the four people, Bad Bunny is the least likely because of his schedule. I
wouldn't rule him out either. I really wouldn't.
John Cena. I would say Cena in theory has probably been the plan for WrestleMania as long as.
I think that was Vince's. I think that was Vince's plan.
Yeah, true.
I don't think that's the new regime's plan. I could see Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny.
Yeah, here's like an interesting one. Does Bad Bunny join his buddy in the Judgment Day, or does he? Yeah, or is he against him?
That would be a crazy tag match.
Yeah, it would. Edge versus Balor. Yeah, that's what. Or Edge. Did I say so? Oh yeah, I said AJ
Styles.
Yeah, Edge versus Balor inside Hell in a Cell. Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, that makes more sense. But man, it's still really weird to book that at a Rumble, and then a few weeks later you're doing Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, when you're doing
I would rather than if they're gonna do that, rather than just wait and do that at WrestleMania.
yeah, when you're doing about 15 things at once here running this show, sometimes you can't think of everything off the top of your head. And we got some signing news here. It is official that former ROH World Champion Jonathan Gresham has signed with Impact Wrestling. So he is now going to join his wife with the company there. He returned to Impact on December 15th last week and confronted Eddie Edwards, and it has now been announced that he is there. Gresham, interviewed by Gia Miller, said, "I'm back here in Impact Wrestling because I feel like I have unfinished business with Eddie Edwards. Now, I know Eddie is trying to move on from this Honor No More stuff, and I would like to too, but to be honest, I get it. Last time I was here, I had a match scheduled with Eddie. That match never happened. And like Eddie, I'm trying to move on, to be honest with you. It was very difficult for me to do so when I know I have to put this to bed with him. So at some point, Eddie is going to have to deal with me. I can say with confidence because I just signed a contract here with Impact Wrestling today, so I'm not going anywhere." Obviously, the deal with Tony Khan went south in a hurry. So I would say
clearly he let him out of his deal.
Yeah, and
good for Tony for doing it. If he don't want to be there, they don't want to work together, just let him go.
Yes,
let him
sir,
out of his
Steven.
damn deal.
Yes, sir, Steven. Josh, that's got to happen probably some point.
2023. That has to happen in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Josh dropping the title anytime soon, so maybe he drops it to Gresham.
He damn well better not drop it to Bully.
Oh boy, yeah, wouldn't that be something? So the Impact roster getting considerably better with that deal. If they could just get a better damn TV deal, man. I don't get access, so it's like, well, what can you do? Moving on into some television here. Monday Night Raw taking place last week from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we started off with Bayley against Alexa Bliss, and boy, we got yet another tease, another Wyatt tease, didn't we, Matt?
Yeah, they ain't letting this go. They've been teasing this shit for 4 months now.
I think the ship has sailed from Liv Morgan, and it looks like Alexa's.
I don't know. I still think this is going to be a thing of Bray looking to enact revenge on Bliss. I don't like the idea of pairing them back together. I really don't. I feel like
what about Liv? Liv is still acting erratically and stuff like that. Do you think Liv? I mean,
Liv would work. They've kind of scaled back on that stuff with Liv in recent weeks.
Yeah, she tried to get disqualified last week on Friday.
They could use Nikki if they're not going to do Sanity. I mean, Nikki could do something.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, they've got options, but I don't think. I don't think pairing Bliss and Wyatt back together on the same side would make a whole lot of sense, granted, based on what happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah, MK here. Is there anybody who could beat Josh Alexander? No main eventers at Impact right now. No, and that's where Jonathan Gresham probably fits in eventually.
Their main event roster is so thin right now. They have Bully Ray in it.
That's good.
That's seriously all you need to know about the main event issues at Impact right now.
Bell in the chat. Do you think Demon Finn is returning? That's the rumor too. That Demon. I know. WrestleLamia reported on this that there's a rumor that Demon Finn is, and that's on the same rumor that this was going to be a Hell in a Cell with Edge. But
does Demon Finn fit in the Judgment Day?
Yeah, that's the thing because that's a babyface thing.
I don't. I mean, look, he did the heel Demon in New Japan, but I don't know if the Demon character fits what the Judgment Day is trying to do.
Mark Cho in the chat.
I could be wrong, but I guess we'll find out.
Give it to Dana Brooke. That storyline was removed from 2K.
Yeah, it would go over like a fart in church, Mark Cho, and you know it would. Like, look, I like Dana Brooke. She works really hard, but at the end of the day, no one would care. You have to do this pairing with somebody that people are going to care about.
Yeah.
And WWE has given the fans zero reason to care about Dana Brooke.
AJ Styles, Chad Gable, a great match. They continue to give. I honestly think in 2023, Chad Gable is going to be a United States champion. I just think that
as long as they get a main title back on Raw beforehand, 100% agree.
Yeah,
totally
because
deserves it.
I just under the Triple H era, he's had a big singles win. Was that against AJ also? They 50-50 that last week? I can't remember.
I can't recall.
He had a big singles win a couple of weeks ago. He's had a lot more singles matches on Raw lately too. So, good stuff there between those two guys. I tell you what, though, another guy that impressed that people have, obviously this guy's been pushed down to the comedy card and not really gotten a chance to shine. In the 6-man tag, Street Profits, Akira Tozawa against Judgment Day, Tozawa shined in that match. I saw a lot of people on the internet also kind of praising the work that he did. A lot of people forgot Tozawa can go into the ring and not just be the guy chasing the 24/7 title and being a comedy act. So I think
man has to be so happy to be out of that damn ninja suit.
That was he impressed me on Monday. Again, we all forgot.
He's always been a great worker.
Yeah,
Vince didn't let him work.
No, it's ridiculous. So I was glad to see the internet really happy of being happy that Tozawa was shining in a moment like that in the match there. We got the continuation of Gargano and Loomis and Miz and Miz trying to steal the money, and Miz still has tiny balls, unfortunately. And Gargano and Miz are great together though. And Gargano said,
"I'm sick of it, dude."
Yeah, you getting tired of it?
I'm so sick of it. Like they've wasted Johnny Gargano's return at this point.
Do you think Liv would ultimately take out Alexa? That could be a way to get Liv into the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, I don't see it being a bad idea.
Tozawa wants the smoke. Yes, he does. And Steven is also burned out with that feud as well. Yeah,
it's not just me. I think a lot of people are. I think they really. I think if you look at the two biggest fumbles of the Triple H return regime so far, it's been Hit Row and Johnny Gargano. But it looks like they're trying to turn the things for Hit Row in recent weeks.
Well, they're number one contenders.
Johnny Gargano needs a lot of help right now.
He needs Tommaso Ciampa to come back,
and it's a damn shame. Yeah, Ciampa.
I honestly
Ciampa
think
being sidelined right now probably hurts.
I honestly think that though I'm thoroughly impressed with Miz and Gargano. They work really well together, and they've had good matches. I'm under the belief that Ciampa is going to come back, and they're stretching this out till Ciampa gets healthy, and then Ciampa comes back, and Miz thinks he's on his side, and then DIY reforms. It is honestly where I think their Triple H is going with this, and that's why
I think DIY is a great idea.
I think that's why Triple H is stretching this out so much, is because he's waiting for Ciampa to get healthy.
Then I'd almost rather them not use him.
Yeah,
because right now it's really hurting him, his thing on TV.
Frantic World, thanks for joining us. Bookie, overall it's been good, better.
But some of it's been bad.
Yeah, there's some questionable stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely a mixed bag.
It ain't perfect.
I think overall it's still better than it was 6 months ago, and that's really how we have to look at it right now. It's just it's all part of the process.
Tommy Ciampa, that'd be like what a Booker T would probably call Tommy Ciampa. Great NXT feud. That they didn't bring up. I was kind of disappointed that Graves. I figured Graves would be a great person to bring this up, but Io Sky and Candice LeRae with a 10-minute solid match there between those two. Io Sky getting the win there. Elias trying to avenge Riddle for getting suspended, I guess. He took on Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, talk about a guy that's been booked perfectly since being called up at Clash of the Castle. Solo Sikoa is a machine.
Kevin, if you're going to be bringing people up from NXT, Solo Sikoa is the blueprint.
Yeah.
Of how all future NXT call-ups should be handled. Do not bring them up unless you have a plan.
Yeah.
Let them stay down. I'd rather have them stay down there forever
Yeah.
Instead of just bringing them up for the hell of it. If you don't have a plan, leave them there and let them develop.
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa is the perfect example of how to do an NXT call-up right.
Yep. Another great women's match on Raw last week. Rhea Ripley and Asuka was a tremendous match, I thought, with Rhea Ripley getting the win there.
Slowly teasing the Asuka transformation.
Yep, we're getting there.
And I'm really hoping that means a big push for Asuka in 2023. I hope
Kana, was that right?
Well, her name was Kana in Japan. I don't
A lot of
think
people think they're going that way.
I think they're going to use elements of the Kana
character. Look at that. Look right on cue, Steven in the chat.
I don't think they're going to call her Kana, but I think they're going to use elements of the Kana character in Asuka. And I think if they do that and they bring back the killer that she was in NXT, 2023 could be huge for the Empress of Tomorrow.
Ziggler teasing a feud with Austin Theory. Bobby Lashley took on Seth freaking Rollins for the #1 contendership. Seth wins. And Bobby Lashley goes nuts, gets fired, and then Adam Pearce rescinded it the next day. What was the whole point of that firing thing?
Some people are speculating, and this is just speculation.
I have my own speculation.
Confirmed that they backtracked on the firing storyline because they were about to release Mandy.
Oh.
And they're like, we don't want to do a storyline fire right now when we're about to wipe out somebody for real.
Yeah.
So the timing of all of that seems very suspect, and I would not roll it out if they were like, all right, we're letting this girl go tomorrow. We can't be doing this Lashley storyline right now where he's fake fired when we're about to fire somebody for real. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but when I heard it, I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And if there's any other reasoning for it, and this was the plan all along, it's fucking dumb.
Marcho in the chat. Cardona has been heavily teasing a WWE return today. I hope
it happens. He deserves another run, and I hope it's as Matt Cardona and not
another
Zack Ryder.
Steven Chambers in the chat here. Another group that should never have disbanded, the Hurt Business. That was a great.
We need the Hurt Business back. We need it.
But yeah. The funniest thing was people. I know I saw some people. Bell in the chat. The funniest thing is people thought he was fired going to AEW in 90 days. Well, here, stop. NXT, fresh off of Deadline on this past Saturday. We kicked things off with both winners of the Iron Survivor Challenge. Roxanne Perez kicking the things off, and Grayson Waller and Braun Breaker coming out to shut Grayson Waller up and chase him off. And then Mandy Rose attacking Roxanne Perez, which led to Roxanne saying, screw it, I'm going to challenge you tonight. Of course, we all know why that happened. So we all know why they accelerated that challenge. But Wesley took on Stax as we clearly are looking towards a triple threat for the North American title with Dijak and Tony D. Did that happen on the next 2 weeks at NXT?
I skimmed the results. I don't remember anything besides the results of the women's triple threat tag match. I don't remember anything that I read. It was very, nothing to write home about type of programming for the next 2 weeks. I don't even think I'm going to watch.
Then we had the women's tag match that devolved into chaos. We already talked about earlier today. Odyssey Jones made his return to the ring and beat Jan Wagner in 3 minutes. Jan Wagner jobbed in 3 minutes, Matt. That should last Tuesday.
I'd like to believe this is WWE realizing that this guy's going nowhere fast, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Last Tuesday should be a national holiday because Jan Wagner
go that far.
I just don't see anything in Big Body Javi, and I know you're really excited about a Ika Manjiro and Scripps feud, right?
Not at all.
That was the low point of the show.
Not at all.
I love Reggie, but man, this Scripps thing is not it. It had promise in the beginning, but then
and they improved his attire, and it's still bad.
Yeah,
like it's not as bad as it was when he debuted, but it's still bad.
Oh, the Fat Lashley thing. That's funny.
He wanted to do it, man.
Steve and I almost agree because Zoe's had kind of a rocket strapped up her ass ever she's turned heel. She looked great in the Iron Survivor Challenge. I think
would
she's
not be.
good. I think she's
I
gonna feud
wouldn't.
with Nikita first, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they would go back to Cora Jade first.
MK, is Braun Breaker hitting for anyone? I've said this on the show many times. It's a stale title run, and the North American picture has been a lot more exciting than the main event picture. And I think Matt kind of agrees on that.
So look, to me, Breaker's title reign hit a snag when they booked him with Joe Gacy. It hasn't. It derailed his entire second run, and he hasn't been able to get any of his momentum back since. And it just seems like it's to the point where he's being more force fed down people's throats than being perpetually over. And that's not a good thing for somebody who's not even on the main roster yet.
Yeah.
Like that's not good. I really feel like when they finally bring him up to Raw or SmackDown, they need to change his name.
Yeah.
He's got to be Braun Steiner or Rex Steiner or something. I think he's going to need a name change when he gets called up.
Yeah.
Like he just to give him a fresh coat of paint on the main roster, because I think the Braun Breaker character right now is in the mud right now, unfortunately for him.
I thought the Pretty Deadly Briggs and Jensen and New Day segment, I thought that was entertaining. I think
For
Pretty
the most part.
I think Pretty Deadly and New Day work real well together in terms of promos, and of course they had a great match at Deadline. So I'm kind of looking forward to more between those two teams. And we had the debut of Lyra Valkyria. Thought she looked impressive against Amari Miller. Duke Hudson beat Damon Kemp, so Duke Hudson continuing to show his love for Chase U, though I think that I'm surprised he hadn't turned already. So maybe Duke's being a good guy for a change.
But I mean, even if he turns, what's the payoff?
Right? I don't think he's gonna turn now. I think he's Chase U, baby.
I think the turn would have made more sense if the other kid that got released was still there.
Steven's saying Waller's a good talent, which I agree. Does not see him beating Braun.
I
disagree.
Braun either. I definitely don't see him beating Braun.
I think he's the guy. I think he's the guy.
Oh,
I just
give me another reason not to watch NXT.
Man, I can't believe you don't like Grayson Waller. Man.
I do not like Grayson Waller at all.
Ricky Steiner Jr.
He is entering theory territory for me. I can't stand either of them.
Jr. Pretty Deadly will get their titles back. I don't think they will, Steven. I don't think they will. I think New Day is going to put over another team.
I think New Day hold them till Vengeance Day, but I don't know who they drop them to. They might drop them right back to Pretty Deadly. We don't know.
Duke,
it's the scripts in it, so it's so stupid.
Yeah, I like the vignettes.
You stop it.
I like the vignettes, but geez, just the presentation and everything else is just. I like Reggie as a talent, but man. Rolling on to SmackDown, and then we'll hit AEW before we wrap things up. SmackDown, I thought, was a very good show as usual. The women's tag match, title match was good. I thought Liv and Tegan looked good in that match. No surprise that Damage Control retained. I thought it was a great opener. I thought the whole Xia Li thing was weird and random. And
yeah,
the fact that we didn't stretch this out or make it a intriguing reveal, only Michael Cole saying it on commentary. I was like, that whole thing
they literally did the reveal on Twitter, and in a 15-second video clip.
And then Michael Cole revealed it. Yeah, on
I was just like, why wasn't this on your show? Really, really dumb.
I mean, Bell's got a good idea here. If we stretch this out and finally make Mello champion, it's like, well, or is Waller going to beat Breaker and they both Breaker and Mello get called up? Who for the Rumble? Who knows?
Mello's gone on record. He said he's not going to feel right about being called up if he doesn't get to work for the NXT Championship first. Yeah. And I agree with him. I think Mello's the man to beat Braun.
He should be. Yeah. Sammy Uso, all dressed up and trimmed up and all nervous about what's going to happen at the end of the show. More on that later. The LA Knight, Bray Wyatt stuff. We finally kind of hit a gear. I liked what they did here. I loved Wyatt. Oh, I loved LA Knight's promo. Yeah, yeah. And then Wyatt comes out with the Brody Lee tribute. Yeah. I thought that was beautiful. I loved the promo work. I loved it stretched out a little too long, like a Family Guy bit, but I think the Uncle Howdy thing was kind of cool. Prove they're two different entities.
As long as they remain two different entities, I'm all on board.
As long, I
But
hope
if
it's Bo Dallas.
this turns out to just be a mind game from Wyatt, and it still turns out to be him, I'm gonna freaking hate it. I want it to be Bo Dallas too.
Gunther and Ricochet with a damn classic 22-minute match for the IC title on SmackDown. If you are not on board with Gunther and his work, man, I don't know what to tell you, because that guy can work. We all know Ricochet can work. And I loved Michael Cole sneaking in a Ricochet's quick as a puma line there. Wait, a little wink and a nod.
Michael Cole does whatever he wants on commentary now, and it's tremendous.
It's beautiful. I can't wait.
Cole don't give a fuck anymore, and it's great. He's just like, I can say whatever I want because no one's yelling in my ear anymore. I'm Michael Cole.
Yeah, Triple H is probably laughing like, that was a good one, Cole. I can't wait till McAfee comes back, hopefully soon. I don't know. McAfee starts talking a lot of WWE lately. Now, then it sounds like he may not come back the way he talks sometimes on his show. So I don't know if he's building up a surprise return for the Rumble or what he's doing exactly there. But
that would suck if he doesn't come back.
I know. You gotta think he does. You gotta think he does. But
then to me, if he doesn't come back, that's egg on WWE's face for letting him go to begin with.
When
for
does Bray Wyatt
do College Game Day? They could have played the power hand and said, "Hey, you're here with us."
Yeah.
Type of deal. You're honoring your contract. And they fucked up all their commentary teams.
Well, no, Pat wanted to do both. And Pat wanted to do both, and Triple H said no.
Well,
that's just too much.
Well, Triple H was dumb and should have made him do both.
Yeah.
Because
he's got to basically travel to
SmackDown sorely needs Pat McAfee right now.
The thing is, for Game Day,
Wade needs to go back to NXT, and Booker T needs to go away.
The thing is that with Game Day, you got to be at that city the day before for meetings and everything like that. You can't just show up Saturday morning and do Game Day. So McAfee has to have Friday off in order to do. He wanted to do both, but in a way, it's physically impossible. So. But anyways, I know McAfee called the Las Vegas Bowl with Kirk Herbstreit and Dave Pash. I don't know if he's set to do any more of those. I know Herbstreit got him into that deal, and it was pretty entertaining on commentary because at the time the Indianapolis Colts were whooping the Vikings' ass. But case of Ross.
Sorry, Colts fans.
Triple threat match for the number one contender tag teams. Man. Tough break for Top Dollar on that dive. I'm sure he's done it many times. It just didn't work that time. But Hit Row wins. They are the number one contenders. We'll just move on from that botch, okay?
Yeah, look, mistakes happen. It's what professional wrestling. People make mistakes. I hope he gets another chance to execute the move on WWE TV properly because he did it on the Indies fine.
Yeah.
So just...
Winter is
coming. I hope he gets another shot to prove himself on TV.
Winter is coming, and that is true because it's getting damn cold here in my neck of the woods. But winter is coming, kicked off with match number 4 of the best of 7 series between the Elite and Death Triangle. And, of course, to not our surprise, Death Triangle gets the win, 3-1.
They're going to blow that 3-1 lead, baby!
Yet another great match kicking off.
I love the Tony Khan bought the NBA on NBC theme. It's the best.
The Acclaim come out and get attacked by Jarrett and Sanjay and Lethal. Of course, they ain't gonna win the tag titles. So don't worry about that. And we got Brian Cage against Jack Perry. Jack getting the win there. To kind of set up, he's basically calling out Big Bill. He wants to fight all the big guys, Matt.
Why not?
Who made the save? How about this? How about Hook making the save?
Now it's Team Handsome. Jack Perry and Hook.
Those are two sexy beasts. Those are two sexy beasts. House of Black killed the factory as they should have. And how about Action Andretti? The crowd was eating this up.
The crowd was look. I saw him in October in DC. He fought QT Marshall on Dark.
Yep.
And the crowd got behind him then, just like they got behind him in that match with Jericho. There's something special about this kid that connects with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he was a nice signing for AEW. I think he's going to do big things for them. But
Yeah.
it's all about the follow-up.
Yeah, Jericho.
It's all about the follow-up and what they do with him going forward.
Jericho did a great job putting him over. Tony Khan shortly after announced that Action Andretti is not Andrade. Elite. Action Andretti is all elite. Tay Bella took on Ruby Soho. Decent little match there. Ruby Soho getting the win. And then got attacked. Nobody's saving Ruby. Ruby doesn't have friends, I guess. She'll have a friend later. Who knows? And then, of course, the world title match closing the show. MJF, Ricky Starks. Great match as we expected. And as we expected, MJF cheats and with a kick to the dick and retains the ring and the AEW world title. What'd you think of that main event, Matt?
It was good. It was exactly what I expected it to be. I knew MJF would cheat to retain, and he did. So I said on Twitter, expect a lot more finishes like this, over the next year, because that's how MJF's going to retain every single time.
Yeah. Now looking forward to our Holiday Bash match 5, as Kenny Omega asked for and agreed upon. No DQ for that, followed by Falls Count Anywhere for match 6.
Yep.
And Escalara de la Muerte for match 7.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah, buddy.
After getting attacked at Final Battle, FTR looks to get their revenge against the Guns. Ricky Starks will be appearing live. We'll find out what is next in the chapter of the Book of Hobbs. We will have a face-to-face meeting with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. We will hear from Bryan Danielson after he chased off MJF to end the show, making his return for the first time since MJF turned on Regal. And for the AEW Women's World Title, Jamie Hayter and Hikaru Shida. And as we look forward to Monday Night Raw tonight, we're going to get some Profits and Judgment Day, which leads to another match. OC against the Alpha Academy. Loomis and Miz in that ladder match for the money. AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. That'll be a good one. Becky Lynch against Bayley. And KO and Rollins teaming up to take on the Usos. On paper, it looks like a good match. Andre Chase and Axiom working dark matches tonight on Monday Night Raw. And everything else we will leave for spoilers if you're a Fightful selector. So that's going to do it. Look at that. I kick it into gear at the right time. We get this baby done just in time for you to go to Monday Night Raw, which is where you will head here, hopefully, in a couple of minutes. We'd like to thank everybody in the chat for joining us tonight and every week. Hopefully, we get you back every week. We're not taking a break, so we're going to be here next Monday, day after Christmas. We will see what the wrestling world has brought us over this last week and discuss everything that happened. Any final thoughts here before we go off the air, Matt?
Yeah. The one thing I want to address next week, we're not expecting a shit ton of news to break throughout this week, being the holidays and whatnot. Next week, I know there were some questions in the chat tonight that we didn't get to answer due to time constraints, but next week, all about the fans of Lost in the Midcard. Send in your questions through the show. We will answer every single question you guys have for us. Will you guys dictate the conversation next week? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. Kind of our end of the year show. Join us, next Monday, 7:00, your post-Christmas Lost in the Midcard.
Hell yeah, we will let you guys run the show, and any lulls in between. We'll talk about any news that happens to break up, and we'll talk. We'll run through TV kind of quick too. Some of it's taped, so some of you may have already read the spoilers. So we'll just maybe quickly gloss over some of the main points, and of course, maybe Holiday Bash might have something interesting for us on Wednesday. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on Lost in Midcard. Hope you have a great Christmas. Have yourselves a great night. Enjoy Monday Night Raw, and we'll see you next week. And don't forget, the Lost in the Midcard is brought to you by Bet Online.